Good, happy Wednesday morning. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast. Let's get started. First up, 2 women arrested on Tilton drug charges. 2 women were arrested in Tilton after detectives found methamphetamine and other drugs in 2 homes, police said. New Hampshire to benefit from new Obama administration opiate epidemic efforts. The Obama administration announced it will expand across to treatment and send both money and manpower to places like New Hampshire, labeled high intense drug trafficking areas. Man with highest level of PFOA in well speaks out. The State Department of Environmental Services said Tuesday that 20 wells in Merrimack and Litchfield areas have shown higher levels of an emerging contamination, and it is providing bottled drinking water to residents. Major crimes down in Manchester. New computer tool credited. Manchester police have announced a domestic decrease in major crimes, a decline that surprised veteran law enforcement officers. Shift wind-fueled fast-moving fire in Concord. Firefighters said the wind fueled a fast-moving house fire in Concord Tuesday, forcing several people to jump from windows. Bill would allow return of illicit drugs with amnesty. New Hampshire lawmakers are considering a personal to provide intimacy to people who hand over illicit drugs like heroin and cocaine to drug take-back programs. Volunteer firefighters killed when tree falls on vehicle in Ware. A Lynnborough volunteer firefighter was killed Tuesday when a tree was blown onto a pickup truck on Route 114 in Ware. Gastis reveals 2017 budget for Manchester. Mayor Ted Gastis unveiled his city budget on Tuesday, and he said the city of Manchester is thriving thanks to sound fiscal planning. Trump campaign manager Landusky charged with simple battery in Florida. Donald Trump's national campaign manager, Corey Landusky of Windham, was charged by police in Jupiter, Florida, with simple battery Tuesday in connection with an incident earlier this month in which he allegedly grabbed a reporter against her will as she approached the candidate to ask a question. 133-mile-per-hour wind gusts recorded atop Mount Washington. The winds were very active in New Hampshire overnight and during the day on Tuesday. Trump supporters defend campaign manager charged with battery. Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump's campaign manager is in trouble with Florida police after an incident involving a reporter earlier this month. DCYF review might not examine cases of 2 children who died. The death of 2 children in suspected child abuse case promoted by State Review of Division of Child and Youth and Families, but an independent adult of the agency might not examine those cases. Number of New Hampshire ground fishermen continue to decline. The number of New Hampshire boats fishing for ground fish has continued to decline, with only 5 full-time ground fishermen left in the state. Gilmington Library to shut down temporarily after town meeting vote. The Gilmington year-round library will be shutting its doors for a while after voters reject funding the facility at town meeting. White House maps out next phase of court fight. With small cracks emerging in the Republican Supreme Court back ad and private indications from some GOP senates that they'd like back Merrick Gardner if he ever did come up for a vote. The White House is preparing to press its perceived political advantage when senators return from their recess next week. Trump takes back pledge to support GOP nominee. Donald Trump has rehinted his pledge to support the Republican nominee for president. American Airlines flight diverted after flight attendant injured during turbulence. An American Airlines flight traveling from Dallas to Tokyo was diverted Tuesday night after a flight attendant was injured during turbulence, an airline spokesperson said. How the FBI cracked the iPhone encryption and averted a legal showdown with Apple. An urgent meeting inside FBI headquarters little more than a week ago that convinced federal law enforcement officials that they may be able to abandon a broad legal fight with tech giant Apple, sources said today. Donald Trump ups ante against GOP establishment in Paul Ryan's hometown. Of the many enemies Donald Trump has jousted with his campaign season, he's handled a few as decently as he has Paul Ryan. And that does it for the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your Wednesday. See you back here later on. Goodbye.